Alright guys, today we're going to do a Craftsman. I think the model of this would be 1840, but it's an 18-inch 40cc Craftsman chainsaw. It is easy adjust bar, pull right, blah 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 blah. See, is there? I think it's got the model down here. There you go. There's all those numbers, whatever the heck that all means. Model. I can't read it. I'll write it down in the title. Alright, any of the parts you need will be in the description below. They come in a box like that. I'll open it up so you can see. I use HIPA products because they work every time. Got the carburetor in it, gaskets, bag that's got the fuel filters, spark plug in it, fuel lines, primer bulb, everything you'll need to do this job will be right there. Alright, let's get to this. It'll be good stuff here. So first thing we're going to do is take out 1, 2, 3 screws. You're going to want to put the chain brake on so you can get the cover off. I use a torque 25 to take them out. You can use a flathead screwdriver. Torque 25 seems to be easier for me, that's why I use it. But whatever. You got it, you got it. So I'm going to lift up from the back, lift the front up, and I'm just going to slide it right on out. If it just slides, there we go. Air filter cover, air filter. We're also going to have to take the recoil off to be able to get to the primer bulb. So 1, 2, 3, and one in the front 4. Take those out. Alright, so then we can get to that. Torque 25 right here. We're going to take that one out. Two 8mm nuts. I'm going to pop those off. Put my 8mm. Pull straight out. There it goes. Choke arm. Actually, you know what? We're going to start with the throttle. Squeeze the throttle trigger like this, and then you can slide the throttle arm right on out like that. And it's an S turn. So you just bring it up to the end, it comes right on out. Then we can slide this back some, stick in, there it goes. We can get the choke arm out, no problem. All the fuel lines are crumbling on this, but you would take the fuel lines off next, and like that. Alright, gasket, the old one stayed on here. We're just going to leave it on. We'll use the old gasket. If your old gasket tears, you can use a new gasket. It's provided in the box. Go ahead and pull this little rubber boot off. Boom. Put that back on here. That's where that belongs. Alright, we got thin and thick line on this one. That's awesome. Hold on. Go ahead, take the fuel cap off. And if you reach in the tank, you grab the lines, you can pull them out if they're crumbled, wherever you know. The HIPA kit I got isn't the right one. It's the right carburetor and everything, but this has a thin line, and I'll make sure I put the correct one in for you. I have the thin lines, and so I just ordered everything. I'm not sure. We'll just make sure you got the right kit in there. And in a primer bulb, I just grab it and break it on out. It'll pop right out. You got a new one, so you don't need to worry about being nice to the primer bulb. But there's two prongs, so if you go into the back, you just gotta pry down and squeeze them together to get them off. But it's screwed, so I'm not even gonna be nice to it. All right, we want to make sure that there is zero debris inside of this carburetor. If you have to, rinse it out with fresh gas. You want to make sure the old gas is all out of it. We really want to make sure it's clean, dry. You're going to start with brand new, you bought today fuel with this. Okay. All right, let's see if we can't get you a little bit better an angle here. Okay, hole all the way in the back corner over here is the first hole. We are going to, oh no, I did get the right kit. This is the right kit. Yeah, it's got the thin stuff in it. Nice. Just so you have the part number. That's it right there. Alright, so the fat line of the two, we're going to cut a nice long tip into it. And you know, you can do just this if you think you're good, but it makes it way easier if you just cut the line in half, a decent bit down the line. Makes it easier to grab. Alright, and then we're going to reach down into the back. Where's my needle? Reach down in the back and get this started in that little hole. This is the return line. So this goes to the primer bulb. At least that's the way they had it run. Honestly, yeah, that works. Honestly, I would have it the other way. I would have this as the fuel supply line because it goes right to here. And I think I'm going to do that. The way they run it is this comes out to the primer bulb, and then, you know, it's a return line. And then suction goes up to here from the primer bulb, which you could still do that, but I would have this one as the return line coming from the primer bulb. It just makes it more direct, and that's what I think I'm going to do. You know what? That's actually what I'm going to do. It's going to be that's the way I always do it, actually. And people complain, they say I put it in wrong, but it's actually just a more direct way to do this. So I do it that way. I'm going to reach in here and grab this fuel line from the back. And pull it through, all the way through. Drop my phone, that's always good. Work around the phone is not always very easy, especially trying to pull the fuel line through, because it's a pain in the butt. Alright, so we got the fuel line pulled all the way up through like that. We're going to cut the tip off of it. And we're going to grab the new fuel filter that they give us. Again, I know that usually the thin line gets the filter, but this is just a more direct routing. It's just a better way to route it. We want to make sure that that filter is laying on the very bottom of the gas tank. You gotta pull through whatever you gotta do. Sometimes you gotta pull a little bit more slack up, so that you can make sure that the filter is on the bottom of the tank. There it is. All right. So that is going up to the carburetor. New carburetor. So it's going to go right up to here. So we're just going to cut that line off right there. Kind of rough area where it's going to go. Also, on this carburetor, this is something that I do. This tip, it looks like it's going to be short enough, but when it happens is when it's on here, it actually connects with this piece of plastic. It just hits it. So this line, this only has to be, you know, this long, you know, to keep it in. So I'm just going to cut that extra bit off. I do that every time. It doesn't hurt anything, but what will happen is that you get it all together, it won't want to throttle up, because when you pull this, it wants to hit that plastic and keep it from moving. All right, and then thin fuel line. Again, we're going to cut it into a point, a fairly long point, to where we can reach it when we stick it through. Sticking in this spot. And this one we only have to pull through about 1 inch, because now this one is going to be the return line instead of the fuel feed line. That is going to go to the primer bulb right there. It goes to the long nipple on the primer bulb. Alright, now we're getting close to where I can explain what the function is of everything. So we're going to go ahead and stab this onto the long nipple of the primer bulb. You try to get on there as far as you can. It is a tight fit. This thin line is just a pain in the butt to get on anything, but to get it on there, it's on there. Alright, now this primer bulb, all you have to do, long nipple down, Just get these two barbs, these two clip type barbs lined up to their slots, and it pushes until it clicks. No big deal. And then all we need is a short piece of line to go on that short barb. That is the suction end of the primer bulb. Alright, so to get an idea of where this all routes, where it goes, is this is the fuel pump side of the carburetor. It's got a fuel pump diaphragm in it. So the filter side goes to the fuel pump straight to the carb. And then the other, this is where the suction line goes to. So the primer bulb pulls the fuel through the carburetor and then pushes it back into the gas tank. That's why I ran it this way, to see this is right on this side. So all I gotta do is cut this to length. Now I got no lines crisscrossing back and forth, getting pinched while I'm trying to get it all together. It's just direct, right to the point, done. No big deal. That one goes there. Push it all the way in. See, nice and clean. This one over here goes down to here. See, now it's nice and clean, very direct. You don't have this one going all the way over to here and this one coming all the way over to here, crossing back in between, to where when you push the carburetor down, bolted down, it gets pinched here or it gets pinched on the other side of the carburetor. There's no BS. Just nice and clean and done. All right, now I'm done explaining myself. We get the we get the throttle arm. Actually, you know what? Let's do the choke arm first. That way we can pull this back a little bit, choke arm in, twist it over, push this back into place. The throttle arm is going to go on like this. We're going to go in and then back, and then we're going to partially throttle it and partially throttle the bottom. So we're bringing this open, and then this, line them up, and then you just push it in just like that. Easy as pie. Alright, where's the air filter assembly? I'm looking everywhere for air filter assembly. It's sitting right there on the machine still. Sometimes I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Alright, I blame it all on my employee. It's his fault. And we take the two 8mm, them into place, like so. And before we tighten them down, we get the torque 27 into place. That's the right one. Yeah, whatever. That into place. So, all right, now we can tighten all three down. So we'll tighten this torque 27 down. And then the two 8mm, tighten them down. And we're going to go ahead, put on the recoil. Get in place like that, and 1, 2, here, let me get you backed up a little bit, 3, 4, get them all tightened down and in place. Am I on the wrong T-handle or something? I'm going to go ahead and put some gas in this and prime it up. This just lets us know we got it hooked up right. And there it goes, primed up. That's a good start. Now's a good time to try to start it before we get all the cover and everything on. In this case, we have to adjust the carburetor or anything. All right, full choke, primed. It fired. Take choke off. Don't touch the trigger. Alright, so you're hearing it bogging out. That means it needs to be adjusted slightly. Let me get you set up here. Oh, you know what? We're going to do it right over here on this chair anyways. We got it all nice and oily anyways, right? So, let's see what adjustment screwdriver it is. I think it's the one I used earlier for that other machine. No. Hold on, let me find the adjustment screwdriver. Okay, yeah, so it's splined screwdriver. There's two different spline ones. This is the finer spline. It's got more splines on it. That one. I'll put the kit in the description below so you can do it. There's two adjustment screws. You got the one closest to the air filter and the one furthest from the air filter. We're going to go to the one closest to the air filter. We're going to turn it counterclockwise. We'll go a quarter turn for now and see what that does. Full choke. Take it off choke. And it needs the idle turned up a little bit. You saw I kept going out a little bit more counterclockwise until it revved all the way up. Our idle screw is inside this. It's a flathead or a Phillips head screwdriver. Let's see. Where's my screwdriver? Oh. And we're going to turn that clockwise because the idle's a bit low. We're going to turn it clockwise like maybe a full turn and a half right now just to get us set up. Full choke. Choke off. Oh, I got her too rich. So the low end is too rich on this. That's the one closest to the engine. We're going to turn that one clockwise just slightly. You'll hear the RPMs come up. They're going to come up. Now we're going to turn the idle back down. Until the chain stops. That's better. A little bit lean. So going back to the one closest to the air filter, and going counterclockwise a touch more. That's better. That's it. I think we're rocking and rolling now. Alright. New air filter. You kind of have an ear for it. You really got to know where to start. But most of the time, 95% of the time, I don't have to do anything. And then 4% of the time that I do have to do anything, it's just the one closest to the air filter. It's very, very rare that I even have to go to the one closest to the engine. But you got to understand, it's air-fuel mixture. So I'm 4 feet above sea level. So my air, there's a lot more oxygen in the air where I am compared to, let's say, somewhere that's 2,000 feet or 7,000 feet, who knows what, above sea level. So, that's why we have to adjust them. You guys may be at the same spot above sea level as where these are produced and not have to touch them at all. Who knows? It's really anybody's guess. Most of the time I don't have to touch them. I just pop them on and they're done. Alright, get this in lined up and in place. There we go. 3 torque 25s, get them tightened down, and it's ready to go. Alright guys, this helped you out in any way, shape, or form. Give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Any of the parts will be in the description below. The kit that I used, they're a great kit. I'll put the tool kit for adjusting the carb in the description below as well. Sometimes that's all you really need to do is adjust the carb. So, got a little bit of that in there too. If you want to do any advertising through my channel, message me. I'll be more than happy to have you. Peace.